Imagine this. You walk into a room, maybe a mall, a subway station, a crowded party, and before anyone even looks at you, something inside your chest tightens. It doesn't make sense logically. Nothing bad is happening. No one is yelling at you. You're perfectly safe. Yet your nervous system whispers, too much, too loud, too many. And in that tiny moment, your body reacts faster than your thoughts. Your shoulders stiffen, your breath shortens, your eyes automatically scan the exits. Not because you're scared, but because your mind is instinctively trying to protect your peace. And here is the part most people never admit out loud. You spent years thinking you were just different, awkward, introverted, or antisocial. But psychology paints a much more interesting picture. Now listen carefully. Ever walked into a crowded place and instantly felt your energy drop? The lights, the noise, the endless movement. It feels like the whole world is shouting at once. You try to act normal, but something in your brain keeps whispering, I don't belong here. You walk through a busy street and every sound sticks to your mind like glue. A baby crying, a car honking, footsteps, conversations, laughter, arguments. It's not that you hate people. You just can't handle everything at once. And psychologically, there's a reason for that. People who dislike crowds usually have what psychologists call a highly sensitive nervous system. Your brain doesn't filter noise the way others do. It absorbs everything, completely raw. Sounds, lights, emotions, you take them in like a sponge. That's why after being around too many people, you feel drained in ways others don't understand. But here's what most people get wrong about you. You're not antisocial. You're observant. You notice tiny things people miss. The forced smiles, the heavy energy, the hidden tension. You feel emotions that aren't even yours. That's not weird. That's emotional intelligence. And there's another layer most people never think about. In big groups, people lose their individuality. The bigger the crowd, the more people shift into a performance version of themselves. Everyone blends in, acts the same, laughs the same, talks the same, all to fit in. But you crave authenticity. Being surrounded by hundreds of masks tires your mind. It feels like pretending. That's why solitude feels honest, because you don't have to perform for anyone. Most introverted or highly sensitive people experience something called a dopamine imbalance. Extroverts get excited in crowds. Their brains release dopamine easily, but your brain releases less. So while they get energized, you get overstimulated. It's not a flaw, it's your biology. That is also why you feel most alive in places where the world slows down. Empty cafes, quiet bookstores, late night walks, long drives with soft music. Those environments refill your energy because they give your nervous system space to breathe. You're not running away from the world. You're returning to yourself. Here's what science says. People who dislike crowds often score higher in empathy. Their brains literally mirror the emotions of others. So imagine being in a room with 50 emotional frequencies all happening at once. Stress, excitement, anger, sadness, insecurity, anxiety. No wonder you feel exhausted. You are not feeling one emotion. You are feeling a whole room at the same time. That's emotional overload. And it's completely real. But here's the truth you need to hear. Nothing is wrong with you for preferring peace in a world that worships loudness. You have the courage to slow down when everyone else is speeding up. You understand something most people never learn. That silence isn't empty, it's full of meaning. And your solitude? It isn't loneliness, it's self-connection. So next time someone looks at you and says, "Why are you so quiet?" just smile. They don't realize you're not quiet, you're processing, you're observing, you're listening to the world on a deeper frequency than they're even aware of. You see more, you feel more, you perceive more. And that sensitivity, that depth is not a weakness, it's a superpower. And here is something even deeper most people never think about. Your brain is wired for pattern recognition. Highly sensitive people pick up microsignals, tone shifts, eye movements, micro expressions. In crowds, that superpower becomes overwhelming. It's like having 20 browser tabs open at once, all loading, all loud. And when your brain can't shut those tabs, you get overstimulated. That's not anxiety, it's neurological overload. There's also something called sensory saturation. Too many voices, too many movements, too many lights, all competing for your attention. Most people can tune out 80% of it. You can't. Your radar stays open, and because your mind is always on, crowds drain your mental battery faster than it does for others. This is why you can be completely fine emotionally, yet still feel physically exhausted after being around many people. Your brain is doing heavy processing behind the scenes. But let me tell you something empowering. People who avoid crowds often have stronger intuition. They sense danger faster. They read intentions quicker. They can feel when a room is fake, when a person is lying, when something is off, long before anything is said. That's why you feel uncomfortable around chaotic environments. Your instincts are sharper than average. Your nervous system is protective, not fragile. Psychologists even found that people who avoid crowds show higher levels of something called depth of processing. You don't just experience life, you analyze it. You don't just hear noise, you interpret patterns. You don't just walk through the world. You feel the emotional atmosphere of every room you enter. That level of awareness requires more energy. And here, there's something even deeper. Many people who struggle with crowds grew up in environments where they had to stay alert. Maybe your childhood home felt unpredictable. Maybe you learned to track people's moods before they exploded. Maybe noise meant trouble. Maybe silence meant danger. Your nervous system didn't become sensitive. It adapted. And while the world sees quiet, psychology sees something else. Hyper-awareness built through survival. Crowds overwhelm you because they activate that old instinct. Too many people, too many signals, too many emotional cues, firing at once. It's not fear, it's pattern recognition fatigue. But here's what makes you unique. Because your mind processes deeply, you also feel deeply. You notice beauty others ignore. A certain shade of light, a tiny smile from a stranger, the quiet sincerity in someone's voice. Your world may be overwhelming at times, but it's also richer. And this sensitivity, it makes you loyal, empathetic, creative, intuitive, authentic, the kind of person who listens for real, not just for their turn to talk. That's why solitude doesn't scare you. It strengthens you. Crowds drain you, but quiet places refill you. Your peace is not a luxury. It's your anchor. So when you choose calm over chaos, you are not avoiding life. You're re-choosing the version of life where your nervous system can breathe. Because deep down, you know something most people don't. Peace is priceless. Quiet isn't boring. It's healing. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's the origin of strength. And solitude isn't isolation. It's alignment. So tell me, are you one of those people who feels drained in crowds, or do you come alive in them? Drop your answer in the comments. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe. Because here we don't just observe the world. We understand it, and we go deeper every single day.